Under the dim glow of the Manila sunset, a young woman stood on the narrow balcony of a small apartment overlooking the buzzing city. Her name was Isabella Ramos, a 26-year-old Filipina singer whose voice, soft yet powerful, had once echoed through church halls, small cafes, and community stages. She was called the Nightingale of Tondo, a name she never asked for, but one the people gave her after hearing her sing. Her voice wasn't just beautiful, it was healing. There was something in it, an ache, a story, a kind of broken light that shimmered even through pain. But behind that divine sound, Isabella carried a secret she never wanted to share. She was dying. 3 years earlier, doctors told her she had a rare heart condition that weakened her each passing day. Singing made her heart swell, literally, the strain could kill her. They told her to stop. But how could she stop when singing was her soul's only language? The world first heard Isabella's voice through a shaky video filmed on an old phone at a church benefit concert. She was wearing a plain white dress, her long hair tied back, standing barefoot beside a wooden cross. The crowd was silent, waiting. And then, as the first notes left her lips, an angelic hum followed by a slow, haunting rendition of "You Raise Me Up," people began to cry. The video, posted by a local teenager, spread like wildfire. Within a week, it had 10 million views. Within a month, major international media picked it up, dubbing her the Filipina Nightingale. Producers from America's Got Talent, Britain's Got Talent, and even The Voice Global reached out. But Isabella didn't respond. Fame wasn't what she wanted. She just wanted to sing, for the sick children in hospitals, for the grieving mothers, for the fishermen's families in her community who lost loved ones at sea. Still, fate had other plans. One humid morning, as Isabella was rehearsing at the small chapel in Tondo, an old man entered quietly. He listened, leaning on his cane, his eyes filled with wonder. When she finished, he clapped softly. "You sing like the world is ending," he said in accented English. She smiled. "Maybe it is, sir." He chuckled. "You don't know me, but I know talent when I hear it. My name is Thomas Green, talent scout for World Stage, an international singing competition airing in over 50 countries. I want you to audition." Her heart raced. "I'm sorry, sir, I can't travel far." He tilted his head. "Why not?" She hesitated. Then, softly, "I'm sick. The doctors say I shouldn't push too hard." Thomas frowned. "Child, sometimes a song can heal in ways medicine can't. Maybe the world needs to hear you, before time runs out." Those words stayed with her long after he left. That night, she looked at her mother, frail and tired from years of working as a laundress, and said, "Mama, maybe I'll try. Just once." Her mother, Maria, smiled weakly. "If it's your dream, Anik, go. But promise me, sing with your heart, not your fear." 3 months later, Isabella found herself standing under the bright lights of World Stage in Los Angeles. The audience was huge, the judges world-renowned, including Simon Cowell himself. The host, a charismatic man with a booming voice, introduced her. "Ladies and gentlemen, all the way from the Philippines, the one and only Nightingale of Tondo, Isabella Ramos." The crowd cheered. She stepped onto the stage, trembling but radiant. When Simon asked what brought her there, she smiled shyly and said, "I just want to sing one song, for the world, before it's too late." Simon frowned, curious. "Before it's too late?" She looked up at him, tears glistening. "Before I can't sing anymore." The room went silent. The piano began, soft, melancholic notes that drifted like feathers. Then Isabella sang the prayer. Her voice soared higher and higher, each note a cry, a plea, a whisper to heaven. The audience rose to their feet halfway through, tears streaming down faces. Judges covered their mouths. Simon's eyes glistened. When she finished, there was silence. Then, an explosion of applause. People shouted, clapped, wept. The judges stood. Simon pressed the golden buzzer. Gold confetti rained down as Isabella covered her mouth, stunned. Simon walked up to her, took her hand, and said, "That was not just singing. That was a message from heaven. The world will never forget you." Overnight, Isabella became a global sensation. Her audition became the most viewed video in the history of World Stage. Major networks begged for interviews. People around the world called her the voice of the angels. But behind the cameras, her condition worsened. The stress of travel, rehearsals, and emotions took its toll. Sometimes, She collapsed backstage after performances, gasping for breath, clutching her chest. Her doctors begged her to stop. But she said, "If my voice can bring even one lost soul back to hope, I'll keep singing until my last breath." For the semifinals, Isabella chose to perform her own original song, Lumipad, Fly. It was a song she wrote in her hospital bed back in Manila, when she thought she might not survive. The lyrics told the story of a soul trying to rise above pain, to break free from the chains of sickness and fear. When she sang the chorus, "Greater than, even if my wings are torn, I'll still fly. Even if my voice breaks, I'll still try. For every heart that needs to hear, I'll sing until the end is near." People in the audience sobbed openly. The video trended worldwide within hours. Churches, schools, and hospitals played her song. Patients in cancer wards said her music gave them strength. A terminally ill child in Japan sent her a letter saying, "Aid Isabella, your voice makes me brave." She kept every letter. By the time the finals arrived, Isabella was frail. She needed oxygen before going on stage. The show's producers, worried for her safety, offered to let her pre-record her performance. But she refused. "No," she said, her voice calm. "The world needs to see this, not perfection, but truth." When the lights dimmed, the audience held their breath. She walked onto the stage slowly, her steps measured, her heart pounding. She smiled, though pale and weak. The piano began again, this time, Ave Maria. From the first note, the world seemed to stop. Her voice, though trembling, carried an otherworldly strength. It was as if the heavens themselves sang through her. People watching from their living rooms wept uncontrollably. Midway through, her voice cracked, not from lack of skill, but from pain. She clutched her chest but continued singing. The audience gasped, yet she smiled through it, finishing the final note with trembling lips. When the music ended, the world erupted in applause. Judges stood, crying openly. Simon whispered, "I've never seen courage like this." Isabella collapsed backstage minutes later. She was rushed to the hospital, where she remained unconscious for 2 days. Her mother flew in from Manila, holding her hand and praying through the night. When Isabella finally opened her eyes, she smiled faintly. "Did I win, Mama?" she whispered. Her mother's tears fell onto her hand. "Yes, Anik, you already won, long before the world knew your name." The doctors said she needed to rest, but she insisted on recording one last message for her fans. With an oxygen tube in her nose and wires attached to her chest, she looked into the camera and said softly, "Greater than, if you're hearing this, I want you to remember something. Don't wait for life to be easy before you chase your dream. Sing, dance, paint, love, even if it hurts. Because one day, your voice might be the light someone else needs." The video was posted on her official page the next morning. Within hours, it was everywhere, shared, reposted, translated into dozens of languages. That night, Isabella fell asleep peacefully. She never woke up. The world mourned. News outlets across the globe reported her passing. Greater than, Filipina Nightingale dies after inspiring millions. Voice of the Angels goes home. Her final performance on world stage broke every viewership record. Churches in the Philippines held candlelight vigils. Fans across Asia, Europe, and the Americas sang her songs in tribute. At her funeral in Manila, thousands gathered. The air was filled with her music, soft, ethereal, echoing through the night. Her mother stood near her coffin, clutching the golden buzzer button Simon had sent from Los Angeles with a handwritten note. "Greater than, the world was blessed to hear your song, Isabella. Now heaven has its Nightingale." Months later, World Stage aired a tribute special. Celebrities, judges, and former contestants spoke about how Isabella changed their lives. Her final song, Lumipad, was released worldwide, all proceeds going to children's hospitals in the Philippines, as she had requested. It debuted at #1 in 20 countries. But more powerful than the charts was the legacy she left behind. Thousands of fan videos showed people battling illness, singing her song in hospital rooms, bedrooms, and churches. The hashtag #SingLikeIsabella challenge trended globally, encouraging people to record themselves doing what they love fearlessly. Simon Cowell, in a tearful statement, said, "She reminded us that music isn't about fame or perfection, it's about purpose." Isabella's voice was a miracle. The world won't hear another like hers. A year later, her mother visited the same chapel in Tondo where it all began. Dust floated through the sunbeams cutting across the wooden pews. She placed a small bouquet of white roses on the altar and whispered, "You did it, Anik. The whole world heard you." As she turned to leave, she thought she heard something faint, a voice, soft and distant, singing Ave Maria. She stopped, her heart trembling. But when she looked back, the chapel was empty. Tears rolled down her cheeks as she smiled and whispered, "Fly high, my nightingale." Outside, the sky was streaked with gold, and somewhere in that endless light, the world could still feel her, not through her body, but through her song. Years passed, but Isabella's legend only grew stronger. Schools named music halls after her. Singers across the world mentioned her as their inspiration. Her original song Lumipad became an anthem for hope, played in hospitals, graduations, and even Olympic ceremonies. In 2030, World Stage unveiled a hologram tribute, a duet between Isabella's recordings and young singers from across the globe. As her digital form appeared on screen, the audience stood again, just as they had the first time she sang. Her voice filled the arena, pure, bright, eternal. And though she was gone, it felt as if she was still there, watching, smiling. Because legends never truly die. They live on, in every note, every tear, every beating heart they touched. And the Filipina Nightingale, who once sang with all she had before her time ran out, had indeed shook the world with her song, a song that would echo through eternity.